also here?
Well, should we start the meeting? Sanjay, should we start the meeting?
Dr. Neeraj, Dr. Sanjay here also?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay, we start the meeting then.
You are in the dark, Sanjay.
Okay, Rotary International Peace. Okay, Rotary International Peace Fellow, Kari Williams, our past District 3080 District Governor Shaju Peter, and our President Sanjay Bhatia, Secretary Suchi Thakur, and fellow Rotarians. Good evening to you all, and good morning to Kari Williams. Good morning, Kari. She can't hear me, huh?
I can hear you. Good morning, thank you.
So I call the meeting to order and hand over the meeting to our President Sanjay Bhatia. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Sergeant Passman Dutharji. And good evening to all of you, and a special welcome to our guest speaker for this evening, Peace Fellow Kari Williams. I'll request the Secretary to start the invocation today. I think we have a recorded version.
Yes, we have a recorded version of First Lady Rotarian Ritu Bhatia. Let me just, 1 second, let me just do a share the sound.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to all men that we receive, and in dying that we are born to eternal life. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you.
Thank you, Shuchi. That was Rotarian Ritu Bhatia. Apologies on her behalf, as she's on the road and she could not join, fearing network connection. So she has sent a recording for the invocation for this evening. Good evening once again to all of you. We meet on Zoom after 2 weeks. We've had 2 meetings physically. The first one was 2 weeks ago, where we had a farewell meeting for PD Shaju along with the club assembly. And the previous meeting we had as our official district governor meet. So we come back to the meetings that we were having earlier over Zoom. And the last 2 meetings have been quite interesting, and my thanks to all members who could join and others who could join virtually or still took the precaution and supported us in those meetings. February, as you all know, is peace resolution and peace building and conflict resolution month. And I think probably, I may be wrong, but this, though it is an area of focus, I think it doesn't get as much attention in a club meeting as other areas of focus or as a program like End Polio gets. Maybe because the coverage is too large. It is not really limited to within a club level. And I don't mean this in a critical way. I only mean this in a way that members probably may not be aware of Rotary's role in this area of focus as much as Rotary is actually doing. And when I say this, probably would be members who have joined recently, and we don't discuss this too much in a club meeting. But we had a district mid-year review last week, and I myself was surprised to hear of the peace centers that Rotary has been supporting and increasing the number of centers and the various initiatives it has been doing. And perhaps we should find ways to disseminate more information to our members and family about this specific area of focus of Rotary, and probably create opportunities for people wanting to work in this area. And I'm glad we have today Kari Williams for this session. With this, I would like to invite our International Service Director, Dr. Sanjay Kalra, to kindly take this meeting proceedings forward and also do the introduction for our guest speaker this evening. Dr. Sanjay.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening to you all, my dear friends in Rotary. February is designated as the Peace Promotion and Conflict Resolution Month in Rotary. Friends, Rotary helps us to meet the basic needs of others by providing food, sanitation, education, healthcare, housing to those who need it most. We know that each one of us has something to give and everyone has something to teach. And in this way, we help to build the foundation for a peaceful world. Through service projects, peace fellowship, and scholarships, our members are taking action to address the underlying cause of conflict, including poverty, ethnic tension, lack of education, and unequal distribution of resources. I quote Mother Teresa, "The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace, and peace begins with smile." And to spread smiles, we have with us Rotary International Peace Fellow from Florida, Kari Williams. And it's a proud privilege for me to introduce her to you all. Kari Williams is a Rotary International Peace Fellow, Paul Harris Fellow, and an Peace Ambassador. Kari currently serves as a consultant for the Integrity Florida Institute and the Peace and Justice Institute at Valencia College. She also serves as an advisory board member for Ideas for Us, a United Nations ECOSOC accredited environmental agency. She completed her Rotary Peace Fellowship and Masters in Conflict, Security and Development at the University of Bradford, UK with distinction. and received the David Yates Memorial Prize for the best overall average. Kari has sponsored for the Rotary Peace Fellowship by the Rotary Club of Seminole Country South and District 6980. So I present to you Kari Williams for her presentation. Over to you, Kari. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay, for such a kind introduction. If I may get the host to be able to share my screen capabilities, what I'd like to do.
Yes, I would do that right away.
Thank you so much. And to thank you to Dr. Rita for the kind invitation to be here with all of you during Peace and Conflict Resolution Month. I just want to say that was one of the most beautiful invocations I've heard in a really long time. And I just want to note that. It speaks to me personally as often I think of to also serve as a hollow reed or a channel for this work. So I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today and for sharing that.
Kari, I have enabled the sharing option. Can you just try once?
Absolutely.
And as per your request, we'll be stopping the recording so that it's not, your presentation is not recorded, right?
And this is in Florida.
I'm sorry?
It is in Florida.
No, it's an e-club.
E-club.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. All the clubs are e-club nowadays because of pandemic.
True.
Dr. Dua has a question.
Dua, sir?
Yes. Am I
Please.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Kari, what a wonderful lecture and what a wonderful presentation you made. According to me, or by scientific vision, the peace also means the absence of conflict or state of wholeness, and it points to presence of something else other than this, and that something else comes from the commitment of your personal work also. Say that if you are an executive, you are a businessman, you are a scientist, you are a teacher, have you done your own work or not? And in case that is not complete, the peace can never return to your conscious, can never return to your body, because within you, you feel a guilt. Whatever may be the other definition of peace, the peace comes from the completeness of your own personal work for which you have taken the mission in your life. What do you say? Your comment about that?
Well, I think that peace comes from within us, and it's a journey that we have to make. It's our own journey as individuals. And so when you're sharing this, what we choose, and even to Kalvadir, when you were saying, Vendir, and I'm sorry, we were saying earlier, just our own practices. We have to be whole. We have to have the capacity to, be that peace in our work and bring that into our other spaces, our professional spaces, even to speak from my truth and show, and how you show up. If you show up peaceful, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your community groups. If I'm relating to what you're saying, those are just some things that came to mind. Thank you for sharing. I think we all have our unique and wonderful perspectives into this. And I think that your club has really is taking a deep reflection on it. It's obvious by even how you started this meeting that this is something that you care about. You already are practicing in your own ways. So I just want to mention that.
That's right. It has to be on a foundation, and the foundation lies about the completeness of your own commitment for which you have taken a vow in your life.
Mm.
That's all. If that is weak, peace can never come.
How can we work for peace if we are not peaceful ourselves?
Yeah. And that's only possible in case you are committed to your own work. Own.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very important. That's the foundation is that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have one small question. To be peaceful now for on a regular basis, is it an ongoing practice or you transform yourself once and you can maintain it?
Oh gosh. For me, it seems a moment to moment. You know, even being a peace fellow for myself, I can say, you know, I think there's this thought that we don't get angry. And there's things that I see experience that make me angry. And in that moment, I have to reset myself, and it's a constant challenge. And so that practice is moment to moment, and sometimes, and especially right now with everything that's going on, I just take it one day at a time. That's
So you need managerial skills as well along with that, right? I'm right.
I'm sorry, can you say one more?
Then you need managerial skills as well along with that.
Oh.
You know, you're talking about angry or anger as such. Shakespeare has said, he is a fool who cannot get angry, but he is wise who will not.
Wow.
Wow.
Great.
That's the journey. For me, that's my work.
But it's sometimes very difficult, Kari, to address others to follow this. You can transform yourself, you can understand and have the joy of it. But it's not easy to express the same thing to others and ask them to follow this, right? So that becomes a conflict. But still, you need to be together, be it a family, be it your friends, or be it your, where you work, or be it society. So is there any mantra, any tip you want to give us? I think you must have heard one word mantra earlier before as well as a Hindi word. So how it can happen, how we can address the other person so that you can sail more comfortably together.
That's a great question. So if I'm understanding, it's the question, it's how can, if someone doesn't, so if we're having a conflict with someone or someone's on a different, doesn't practice the same, you know, principles or agreement, how can you engage? Or maybe even not engage? And to me, it depends on the situation, and importantly, what your own principles are, and holding to those. And sometimes it's just as powerful to be silent.
Good. I think it's important.
So it's knowing and balancing, I say, when to, you know, to speak true to yourself, but then also silence can be powerful as well.
I agree, but I say something else as well along with this. For example, we are trying to learn good from you today, all of us. We are all happy, we are silent. Generally, we are taking you inside, right? So we have accepted that thing. We are enjoying with it. But how to expand? It's not easy for us at this moment. This is what I was saying. And we want to do that.
Well, and I think so speaking from the places in the Rotary community, I think this is where the work happens, in looking at the agreements that we hold for ourselves as part of the Rotary family. That's why today I wanted to talk about the 4-way test and, you know, how the 4-way test has been applied. And I think the four-way test has been a great tool, especially for the time. But I think it's time to really add, and expand, whether that's clubs expand that practice at their club level. But for Rotarians to think about some of the real challenges that the four-way test offers.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that when it was written, in many cases, we know that all did not mean all, because even when the four-way test was written, women weren't allowed to be in Rotary and so forth. I think that's where we can start as the Rotary community, but then also reflect on our practices as individuals and expand those as well.
I agree. Thank you. Thanks.
Such great comments and questions. I really appreciate all of you. This has been so lovely and such a treat. On a Friday. It's like a fun Friday treat.
But for us, it's a TGIF, but for you, it's a morning, right? You are more at the giver side. Early morning, you're giving us all good.
So you have been able to evoke all these questions. It's your presentation which could evoke all these, elicit these questions.
Deep thought.
Does Dr. Sanjay have any comment? Then we can otherwise move to the expression of gratitude.
Sanjay, I have one more question.
Yes, Dr. Vora.
Is she there? Kari is there? I can't see her. She's there?
Yes.
My question is that I don't know about what is the situation in USA, but in India we have a lot of family disputes. And people go to the court. I am a victim of this family dispute last 23 years, and it has spoiled my profession also. So, what do you suggest? How should we go about in the family dispute? What I have experienced that if you go to the court, the dispute goes on lingering on. But if you try to settle it on out of the court, it is much better. We have a number of lawyers. Dr. Balram Gupta is there. He knows about my case. So what do you suggest as a peace scholar? What is the situation about domestic disputes in USA?
When you say domestic dispute, and are you meaning like conflict with family members?
Within the family. It can be husband, wife, it can be brothers, sisters.
Well, that's a wonderful, not wonderful situation.
I think
and yet,
USA is not facing any family disputes.
No, I guarantee you there are disputes at many, there are conflicts happening here at all different levels.
Conflict here means husband and wife, basically.
I'm sorry?
Conflict in states is more between the spouses, between the spouses.
Husband and wife.
Well, I guess I can only speak from my own, thinking and speaking from my truth in this space. That's, I know within my own family that, we've had conflict in many different areas, between siblings.
Yeah.
And what's helped us get us through is focusing on the relationship and wanting to whether it's repair, and strengthen the relationship and the communication. And yet it's an ongoing process. And two, that I guess that also I can share that, sometimes, and we're talking about having common agreements, even with my own family, we don't all practice the same principles. We don't all have the same faith. And so we're coming from different areas, but there are some things that we do agree upon. And that's to continue to come back and to continue to talk and to continue to, and we've been practicing using some of the principles. one in particular, I think that is really helpful, that gets away from the blaming and the shaming, is using the I statements rather than the you, and trying to focus on the individual feeling. And that helps shift away from the blaming and shaming that can happen sometimes when we're in the middle of a conflict, whether that's with, a family member, for us, a coworker.
Instead of I think if we believe in we, that is better. And then there's a lot of ego problems also which come in.
I think we sometimes, I think, can get a bit tricky, because then you're speaking for everyone. With we, you're referring to all. All I can speak for is from my own experience. I've found that I just try to focus on the I, and what I can speak from how, I'm feeling or what I'm seeing, and asking those, honest and open questions, but suspending judgment, which sometimes is really difficult to do. Suspending judgment is another one of the principles that we practice. And that's just allowing this person to express themselves, and hearing and really listening and hearing for what's being said.
What do you think about Let It Go? There's a famous song also, Let It Go.
Let It Go. Are you talking about the
There's a famous song also, Let It Go. And if we have this attitude of let it go, I think we'll be more peaceful. If you don't get it, forget it.
Yeah. Well, one thing too, though, is trying to take away from the personal in some instances. There is a joke we've had with my friends around the Disney song "Let It Go." I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about from the Frozen movie, but and on a lighter note, it's one that's go.
Madam Kari, can I ask you a small question? Do you think that the practice of religion brings the peace brings you near to the peace, and atheism is an antidote?
I'm sorry, there was a bit of an echo.
I said, you think that the nearness to religious ethos bring more peace to the mind, and atheism is a sort of a negative which takes you away from peace of mind, the practice of atheism. But you have major thing in United States also.
I think that how individuals come to peace is the personal journey.
No, if you treat your children to be something religious, draw to them towards the great souls and more towards your own religion or religious ethos. As they develop, as they mature, they become more mature in their personality, rather than to have a anti-Darwin sort of a agitation what we have among 60 to 70% of Americans, or among many.
I don't know that I don't take that view necessarily. What I think is that when people see something outside of themselves that they value, or that they can, they value as important, when they can see a connection to the others around, to the relationships around them.
Yeah.
I think those are some of the basic, with relationships and with humanity, those that can foster compassion. And I think that that there's different avenues to that. So I wouldn't advocate for one over the other, but just for, compassion as a whole, and for whether it's in, helping children to see the beauty in themselves and around them, but also adults as well, and however that connection can be fostered.
But I mean, the dining table of the family is also a very good school to teach the children to be with them all their life. The dining table is the most important. The family which eats together, talks together, talks about religious ethos, their roots, they become culturally and peacefully more strong. That's what I think.
So thank you very much, Kari. I would now like to.
I have a very small question to complete Dr. Gupta's thing. I want to convey here that Dr. Balram Gupta, what he said in the beginning is the same subject. He wanted peace in the judiciary, right? And Dr. Vora was asking the same. He was demanding something, a justice with the peace, because he's not comfortable. So Dr. Balram Gupta already mentioned that there should be a peace in the system, those who are running the show, the judiciary itself, so that the things can remain peaceful. Dr. Vora is not peaceful because that thing is not practiced there. So I'm purposely connecting the same subject together because I don't want him to remain, he's saying that let it go on a withdrawing thought. I think to withdraw things means you need to be very strong, first of all. Then second is you need to be very young, in the sense you are not longerly attached to something. If you have children, those who have lived with you for 25 years, 30 years, and then you're asking to let it go, it's not possible. Or if you want to just leave some money, face some business losses or something like that, so you need to be very young and you should have that capacity to move further. So I think I give salute to Dr. Balram Gupta for addressing a very relevant question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kulvinder. We just have one last question. I see Colonel Chandok also raising his hand. That will be the last question. Rita, okay, I'll give you your 2 minutes. Colonel Chandok.
Thank you. A little while ago, it was mentioned about anger. I think it's related to irritants. There are irritants everywhere. So I think it's a great trait or quality of a person if one can manage to ignore irritants. And I think it becomes difficult if they're personal in nature. Otherwise, it would be wonderful and it will be peaceful to ignore irritants. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was just a comment. You don't really, that's not really a question, right? Or do you want Kari to say something?
Yes, just a comment. Sure. Just a comment.
AG, Dr. Rita.
That's right.
Hi, Kari. Good evening. Yeah, I would. You will agree that
the 2 speakers on, I think, Dr. Rita.
So you would agree that post-COVID, there has been a disruption of peace globally. So as an ambassador of peace, what would you like to suggest that Rotary should be doing so that we return to this new normal?
That's a great question. I think that one of the most important things that Rotary could do is to take a look inside of Rotary, which is already happening at different levels, but to continue to do that work and to not shy away from getting into some of the challenges, what they might find, as RI really, does Rotary really want to emerge with a more equitable, organization that's more inclusive, that, promotes peace? These are some big changes for Rotary. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity. And with just visiting, with your club this evening, visiting with other clubs here and in other places around the world, there's a lot of movement to do this and to take a deeper look at ourselves And so I think just following that journey, supporting each other, and being kind to ourselves, because we never know what what someone is going through. We never know the full picture of what people have, on their plates, so to speak, in their lives. And so I hope that Rotary moves forward with kindness, and then also, just taking a deeper look internally to support peace for Rotarians, for Rotary family clubs. And I think that's going to help us emerge stronger from COVID. And Rotary will be, I'd say, moving forward together, and emerge an improved organization. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I would now like to invite Kulvinder Singh Babar to give the expression of gratitude, please.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Before I say thanks to Kari Williams on behalf of my club, I have something in my mind to share quickly. It's with regards to her name, Kari Williams. To me, when I saw the invite from the club that she would be our guest today and addressing a specific subject, so it was the subject and her name was, both of things were not new to me. Kari is the name of my daughter. We call Kari maybe 100 times in a day. Kari, where are you? Kari, come here, let's eat food. And Williams is the name of my friend who is in US, in Long Beach, California. It's more than 25 years we are working together. So when I combine two dear people together, Kari, my daughter, and my best friend, Williams, it makes Kari Williams. So you are so special to me personally. And I found the same nature in you, the softness, the balance, the knowledge, the devotion towards the cause. I just loved it personally. Now, on behalf of Chandigarh Midtown Club, I thank you so very much for such a wonderful presentation by a person who carries a prestigious peace fellowship, and so informative, so good. I think your every word we would love to maintain for so many days together. And next time when we meet, you will see a change in all of us. Thank you so much. God bless you and love you.
That was so kind. And how amazing is that? Oh, and your daughter. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. This has just been such a special time with all of you. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now.
Thank you. And I will not forget you now. Trust me.
I want to comment. Your face and your way of expressing was giving me such a lot of peace. Thank you so much, Kari.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Kulvinder ji. Kari, this has been a very useful meeting for us. Though we are here in the evening, I know the challenge was more for you to connect across the shores at 8 a.m. from your side. I'm not sure whether you have ever visited India, but we would definitely like to extend you a warm invitation whenever you wish to consider coming here. Even if it is to research, even as a tourist, this is where we had Mahatma Gandhi, we had Vinoba Bhave, we had Mother Teresa in Calcutta. So I'm sure you would be able to connect your studies, your program, your objectives with a lot here in India. So do accept, you're always welcome here. Rotary is big in India, so I'm sure your travel can also be all arranged here. And thank you so much. We just have about 5 more minutes. We would wish you to stay and for the rest of this meeting. And I would like to now invite our Secretary Shuchi for the announcements and birthdays and anniversaries for this week.
Thank you, President Sanjay. This week we have the birthdays. Today we have the birthday of Rotarian past President Sandeep Sandhu. On 1st of March, we have the birthday of our newly elected member, Rotarian Rishikant Jha. 2nd March is the birthday of Rotarian Anurag Sharma. And 4th March, it's the birthday of Rotarian Ravinder Jain. We also have, on the very same date, we have the wedding anniversary of Rotary and Shashi and Balram sir. Congratulations, Balram sir. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Where is the cake?
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and celebrations.
Congrats, Balram.
I think
Congratulations, Balram.
You must sing
Thank
it
you.
for him. It is a special person's celebration. You can't go like that one clap.
Accept congratulations.
Thank you.
Shuchi, any announcements?
We have no announcement, Sanjay sir.
Thank you. PDG Shadu said I just wished him to make a comment on the book he was giving to all members during the farewell meet. If you could just put in a word on that.
Well,
Okay.
Sanjay, that is a book which was actually the brainwork of past RI director late Yash Das for his second institute in Hyderabad. It was a way of meeting partially the expenses of the institute. And he said the theme of the year of Sakuji Tanaka was about peace. And he says, Shaju, why don't you bring out a publication which is focused on peace? So I thought about it, and I thought I would request all past governors, future governors, present governors to contribute a piece of writing, not necessarily their original ones, but from history, so that I can put it together. And each article came with a check of 25,000 rupees. That's the story behind that book, which partially met the expenses of the institute. And I must share the secret with you. 90% of the past governors said, Shaju, I will give you the check, but you write the story yourself. So that's what I did. So we collected a good amount of money, and that's the story. That's it. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I had the great privilege of having it inaugurated and launched by Sakuji Tanaka himself, the RI president at that particular year in the Hyderabad Institute. And I had some surplus copies, fortunately, which I've been giving away to friends in my home club, as well as others in the other clubs of 308. So I still have some more left. Yes.
Great. So why I wanted you to talk about this was, I wish if Kari can share her address, we could send her a copy.
Oh, sure I will.
Just 1 minute.
Sure I will. Sure I will. Ask her to share the address. I will have it couriered to her.
Shaju, can't we make it digital?
That's too much of a... I have done my work. Don't ask me to work on it again, Sunny. That's not fair.
But somebody has already made a PDF copy of it. Then you can upload it on the website.
Yeah, I think the point is that we need to distribute this, because it's a very good topic, and I'm sure the collections are good. And also work on a second edition. Since you said we have sponsored, our club has sponsored 2 peace scholars. If there's a way to connect 2 peace scholars across the world and get some writing and make a second edition. So that's just a thought.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Shaju, the two peace scholars that our club has sponsored, when S.K. Sharma was president, I was the secretary.
All right.
The second one was sponsored when I was the president.
Absolutely, yes.
So I have that, should be proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, we come to the end of today's meeting. Thank you so much to everyone for being here, and thank you to Kari for spending time with us. And
1 minute.
Yes,
1 minute.
Yes, Indu ma'am. Yes.
One minute, Shadji. Shadji,
Yes.
I want to talk to Shadji.
Tell me.
Hello, Shadji. I am reading your book, and every day I write the comment, but it does not come to that higher that I can send you. Every day I write. Then I told Navita to help me to read this book, and you help me write the comment in this. So one day I'll send you the comment.
Share the comments with me in whatever way it is. I should be honored, Indu.
Thank you. I don't come to that height that how to appreciate your book.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So nicely combined, and so to the left side are the beautiful things. I can't explain. I don't know much English also. I'm a Hindi teacher.
That's not right. That's not true.
That's doctorate.
Really wonderful.
So allow me to adjourn this meeting. We will have this room open for 5 to 10 minutes, and we would unmute everyone. Members, do allow me, and with your permission, I adjourn today's meeting. Thank you so much.